The Wally Show podcast is our daily radio show heard live through the WayFM app each morning and hosted by Wally, Gavin, and me, Betty Rock. For more fun, be sure to connect with us at wayfm.com/Wally.
The Wally Show podcast is brought to you by Colorado Christian University Online, where you can earn a degree online just like Betty Rock. You can learn more at ccu.edu/Wally. Things you didn't know you needed to know today. It's News-ish with Betty.
Before this job, before I worked in radio, maybe you didn't know this, but I worked in daycare. And I was a preschool teacher.
Sometimes feels like she still is.
It does. Honestly, it really does. And as you can imagine, there are lots of tough days for teachers, but nothing is crazier than the dreaded birthday day. Mm-hmm. And you may be thinking, well, why is that? It's not that we don't want to celebrate the kids' special day. It's not that. It's just that we dread the popular birthday snack option that all parents seem to pick for their child's classroom. The cupcake. Here's one teacher to explain the reason why she asked parents not to bring the cupcakes.
Please don't bring cupcakes. These make a ginormous mess, and the kids honestly don't eat them that great. The frosting gets all over, and the kids aren't sure what to do. It's just too much for them, and it's too messy.
I get it. I will tell you this. Cupcakes and tacos, two worst foods to eat. You don't you don't come out of eating either of those unscathed.
Right. If you can't eat it and drive a car,
right? You shouldn't be.
Then don't bring it for a kid.
Absolutely. Don't even eat it in general. Seriously.
Well, and you might be wondering, well, then what's left? I thought cupcakes were a good option. What should I do? Well, I love what this teacher had to say. She said there are plenty of options. She suggested donuts.
Oh.
Okay, there's other options, but donuts are fantastic. Kids love donuts. Okay?
Easier to eat than a cupcake for
sure. You get
sprinkled
ones? Yeah. Fantastic. Another one she said were those ice cream cups with sprinkles. So, like the little individual size ice cream.
Yeah.
Vanilla or chocolate, and then you bring a little thing of sprinkles to put on top. They'll love it.
Fun, yeah.
Another one, and this is even easier. This is for you really busy moms or dads out there. Little Debbie oatmeal cream pies or cosmic brownies.
Yeah, but
both fantastic.
Here's the thing, though. You are going to have to upscale them somehow. You have to take them all out of the pack, and trust me, you got to take them all out of the package. You have to put them there. You need to do some sort of something to make them look like you did something other than just go to Winn-Dixie and buy them off the shelf, because you will get mom judged. You will get mom judged so hard.
Maybe you'll get mom judged, but you won't get teacher judged, because the teacher will be like, thank you.
Yeah.
Thank you so much.
My wife loves cupcakes, the Gigi's cupcakes with the mountain of frosting. Anything I try to eat that part of it hits me in the forehead, I don't want to eat.
It's a problem.
It's a mess. I break my cupcakes in half. I rip the bottom off. I put it on the top like a sandwich.
But you can imagine you as a 56-year-old man having an issue, right, with cupcakes. You can imagine what a toddler is going to do. So just don't do it.
My wife makes me take my top shirt off to eat spaghetti, so I fully understand this.
You are a child.
I know. Uplifting WayFM, this is the Wally Show, and Betty Rock the other day, she likes to analyze me and try to figure me out and stuff like that.
I do, and I think it's because it gives me peace of mind. If I can understand you better, maybe it'll help me.
It's like a tragedy. We just look for answers to somehow feel better.
Well, because I know that you're not going to look for the answers. If anything, you're like, this is just how God wired me. What can I do?
Yeah.
What are you going to do?
I know, right?
But then the rest of us have to suffer. And so sometimes I just like to find the answers to your issues. Yes. To a lot of your issues.
So she found one on ADD, which my legs are going crazy right now. ADHD, yes. Thank you.
I don't know if there's a difference.
Yeah,
but
there's a hyperactive in there is the H. Adult attention deficit disorder.
With the H, for sure. Yeah. I found a list of symptoms for ADHD.
As adults.
And I started listing them off, and Wally was like, oh, yeah, ooh, yep.
I know, it's kind of crazy.
So a couple of them are being unable to sit still.
Check. My legs are going 1,000,000 miles a minute right now.
Constantly fidgeting.
Check.
Excess talking.
Check.
Being unable to wait their turn.
Check. Why would I ever want to wait? That one just seems natural.
Acting without thinking.
Check.
Interrupting conversations.
What?
Literal or no sense of danger.
Check.
Oh, my goodness.
And having a short attention span.
Check.
Being easily distracted.
Absolutely.
I mean, just before we started this break, he was like, okay, and this is...
I know. All of that stuff. I'm starting to see I was not diagnosed as a kid. I know I wasn't diagnosed for dyslexia, and I'm rocking a little bit of that. There are things I probably should have been diagnosed as a kid. Hyperactive, like ADHD, it seems like a no-brainer. I'm like, where was my mom during this?
She had 4 other kids to take care of.
And all she did was send me outside to run around the house.
Well, that's the thing that started me looking into it, because there was a mom that was talking about how her kid had so much pinned up energy that she would make him go outside and run around the house. And I was like, Wally, I remember you telling me that your mom used to do that with you when you were a kid. And this kid that this mom was talking about had ADHD. Yeah. So it was like, well, wait, does Wally have ADHD?
Explains a lot. I mean, it really does. I've never thought about it before. I had an adult friend of mine that was talking about just getting diagnosed with that. And he was like, yeah, they put me on this medicine. I don't remember what it was, but he's like, it really focused me. He's like, I've never been this focused. I'm like, oh, really? That's interesting. And it also, he's like, yeah, it killed my appetite too. I'm like, oh my gosh, winner, chicken dinner. Let's go.
I don't know. It's something to consider, not diet-wise, but I wonder what you would be like after working with you for 17 years and you really putting the H in ADHD. Yeah. I wonder how you would be.
I fear it because my mind works this way for a reason, and I've accomplished what I've accomplished with it.
But what if you could go even further?
But what if it dulls you? That's what I've always been afraid of.
Don't let fear run your life, Wally.
I know.
You're
I don't know.
letting fear take a hold.
Stay hyper.
I wonder if you can just try it out. Like, can you try it out for a hot second? Like, do it for like a couple months and then be like, yeah. I'm like, no, this isn't for me.
But I mean, you would have to give it some weeks. It won't be just a flip a switch and you're done.
Yeah, that's part of the ADHD. Well, that didn't work. All right, so here's what I want to talk about. What was that thing that as an adult now, looking back, you think, I think they should have diagnosed me with this, you know? Maybe it's the ADHD thing. Maybe it's like dyslexia. Maybe it's something else. I don't know. But what is that thing that as an adult, you're like, how did they miss this with me?
Right.
You know? Because I really do think that. I'm like, how did you guys miss this? 855-33-WAY-FM. That's 855-33-WAY-FM. What was the thing that as an adult, you're like, I probably should have been diagnosed with this?
Well, I think ADHD also, something that has brought it up to my attention with my son. His dad gave him coffee one day when he was younger, and he totally chilled out.
Oh, he calmed down?
If he drinks Mountain Dew, he totally chills out. So when he gets caffeine or when I get caffeine, normally that pumps people up. No, it chills me out.
Oh, wait a minute. So is that a sign of something? Like the caffeine has an exact opposite effect on you?
If you have ADHD, that's what the doctors have told us.
Really? Well, I'm cured because coffee sends me through the roof, and I love it.
Wait, I gotta Google this.
Yeah,
Jennifer,
wait a minute. You didn't go to doctor school.
Jennifer, did you go to doctor school?
No, I did not. But we've seen specialists for my son, and they have all told us that.
Wait, I'm Googling this. Give me a minute.
You just don't drink enough.
Okay, a few studies have looked at how caffeine can affect ADHD symptoms, but the results have been mixed. Even though caffeine is a stimulant, it's not generally recommended as a treatment for ADHD because it hasn't proved to be as effective as prescription medications. So it may work for Jennifer and her son, but it may not work for you.
Look at you reading a medical journal and then going, but let's not focus on that. Maybe you have adult learning disorder.
Well, Gary, he said on our Facebook page, he said, I was 5 when my aunt told my parents to stop spanking me and get my hearing checked. They found out I was deaf in one ear.
See, that makes so much sense, though. Are you listening to me? You listen to me. And the kid's like, what?
Yeah.
This is the first time I'm hearing it. You walk to the left side,
right?
You know?
Yeah, but thankful for that aunt
that
actually spoke up. And then Sean said narcolepsy. I wasn't lazy. My stepfather would pour ice water on my head when I couldn't wake up in the morning, and my teachers made fun of me because I would fall asleep in class.
That's crazy. Like, again, as a kid, you have no idea what's going on. And so then you get to be an adult, and you're like, oh, I should get this checked out. Oh, you have narcolepsy, sir.
And I feel like this is something that could happen if you have multiple children, like a lot of children.
Yes. Yeah, one of your kids just kind of gets lost in the shuffle.
Like
you know?
you.
Yeah, I was the middle
child.
100%. Like, my mom had so much going on with all these kids and again, when I was a kid, though, too, even before boomers. I'm Gen X, but like it was. I don't know, like you just kind of lived life. You didn't like overanalyze things. And you're like, your kid's a little hyper. He's a little hyper. That's what boys are, you know? You didn't be like, oh, he might have a medical issue.
But what if your hyperness, that you still act like a really young little kid at 56 years old?
Right. And
then...
I don't know. It's a blessing. I'm going to stay young forever.
Blessing.
It's a blessing. See, that's the thing. You don't look at the negative as a positive. I see it as a positive. You could learn a thing or two from old hyperactive Wally here, Betty Lou.
Okay.
Is there something you think you maybe should have been diagnosed with as a kid?
ADHD.
You too. And as an adult, you're
Me too.
Yeah, it makes sense.
Well, my son, he sees a therapist, and she's like, he has ADHD. And I'm like, okay. And she looked at me, and she's like, you have it too. And I'm like, too what?
Yeah, like how did she diagnose you just sitting there?
Well, we've talked occasionally, and she's like, you just go from one subject to the next, and it's like, I can't just stay on one subject. I bounce everywhere.
Sure, I get that.
And I can't quit talking about it.
It's like your generation to some degree, my generation for sure, we never diagnosed things. They're just like, oh, you got a hyper kid, you know, or whatever.
But that doesn't mean that we... But now with the advancement of medical technology, we shouldn't just live in the Stone Age. Like if there is a diagnosis, you should handle it.
But what's so bad about shifting from one conversation to the next? That makes her delightful at parties. Like she's never without a good conversation, you know?
Right? Do I need to get medicine for it?
Nah, you're fine.
Yeah,
from one ADHD to another.
Yeah, you're fine. Don't you worry about it. You just be that scattered little fun you.
Right?
Well, Robin, I appreciate you taking the time and joining us today. Thank you, girl.
Thank you. I love listening to you guys.
Oh, that's awesome. Well, we appreciate you listening. I hope you have a great rest of your day.
I'm on my way to the dentist with my son, so we'll see.
Well, you'll see if you get there. You get distracted.
Right?
Betty's love of crime shows has me concerned because I think that she's not learning how to protect herself, but rather how to set me up for a crime.
Oh, I for sure am.
It's a Gone Girl situation is what I'm thinking.
I'm glad I've got you right where I want you.
Yeah, that's what I feel like. You know, you need someone in your life that will set you up for success, not failure.
Yeah, and that's exactly how I felt with CCU. I mean, I felt intimidated considering going back to school as an adult after being out for so long, but I was set up for success with CCU from my first conversation all the way to graduation. Most classes are only 5 weeks long, which means you can earn your degree and still have time to do whatever you want.
Yeah, 5-week classes, that's even good for people with like ADHD. Like for me, I know I needed short classes so I could focus when I went back to school because Betty Rock and I kind of lived the same life.
Find out more about how you can pursue your passion and find your calling with Colorado Christian University at online.ccu.edu. Colorado Christian University is a nonprofit impact partner.
Things you didn't know you needed to know today. It's News-ish with Wally.
As people in general, we definitely have fears, and these fears can keep us from living a full life. Like my wife fears everything. Skydiving, scuba diving, cliff diving, I guess just diving. She fears any kind of diving. But it turns out there is something that the majority of us fear more than even dying.
What?
What do you think that is?
Tornadoes.
All of those are good guesses. Bugs,
well,
no.
I don't know.
Failure.
Oh, wait.
No.
Wait, when you can't find a bathroom quick enough.
No, that's me.
That's just Gavin, yeah. But no.
Disappointment.
All of these are great. That's your dad fears that. All of those are great. But no, the one fear that the majority of people have over dying
Balding.
is... ouch.
Aging.
You looked me right in my ocular sockets when you said both of those. Retiring. You were close on the aging.
Fear retiring?
No,
Fear of retiring.
I feel like that makes a little bit more sense because at least nowadays it feels like everything costs a ton of money. You need a lot more money to make sure you're set up to not work for 10, 20 years.
Exactly. Most of it comes from that
sure.
fear of not having enough to retire. Like they used to say you need $1 million to retire. If you have $1 million, you put that in the bank. You can live off of the interest that you make off of, investments. And, with inflation, now they're saying $2 million. Oh. Like, really? Okay.
Oh, my gosh.
And so that's one of the biggest fears. But there are other fears associated with this, too. I'm curious what you think about these. Other fears is losing your identity. Because when you stop working... That's something I'll deal with.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, work defines me. My work ethic,
Yeah.
my work, my job, all of that defines me.
And when you lose that, then
Yeah.
you're like, well, what is my purpose? What am I here for?
Yeah. So I get that one. Long-term health care, I understand that. I'm closer to retiring than you guys, and I've seen people go through these horrible things that wiped them out.
Yeah.
And so, like, that is something that
and I
plays on
hate
my
it
mind.
too when I hear of people that like finally get to retire after working for so
Yes.
long, and then they get sick with something. You're like, why, God?
That
like
happened-
they worked so hard.
That happened to my wife, her family. Her mom got cancer and passed away. And like they had all these plans to travel and all these things.
so sad.
And I think that's why I'm like I vacation now and I take good vacations because while I'm still healthy, I want to go and experience things because you never know
Right.
when
No,
that
that's
might
smart.
hit you. The other thing is like a new lifestyle because you have to amend your lifestyle. But mine is like boredom. I told my wife yesterday, literally, because we had a long weekend, and we couldn't fill the weekend with things. And I told her, I said, honestly, honey, I fear retiring because, like, our friends Molly and Greg, they were at a lake house over the weekend because they just decided to on a whim. They found a place. They went and rented a lake house for the weekend. And we're like, what do you want to do? You want to go to Marshall's? Sure. Like, okay, well, let's throw in TJ Maxx too. And like, we always do that. We default. We don't go do anything good, but we'll go like shop or go like
Right.
to lunch or something.
But I think that this is a good thing to know about yourself, Wally,
Right.
because you're doing the work. You're internalizing and figuring out what it is that makes you tick. And for you, you find your identity in work. So you can now prepare for once that's over and done.
Yeah.
It's okay to get a part-time job.
I
you
will
don't
have
have to
one.
fully
You should
retire.
work till you're 80.
I
Right.
will.
For
I'll
some
be that
people, it's
greeter at
okay.
Walmart that's
Yes.
95.
That's okay.
Yeah, that'll be me.
If it makes you happy, do
Yeah,
it.
for sure. Yeah. Well, let me see. I say all of this to say that if you're in your 20s, 30s, or 40s, plan for retirement. Like do the work and save a little bit. Even if you save a little bit each month, it will make a difference long term. Because we live at the ends of our means usually, and stuff. And so, like, save now. You are going to be so thankful because it sets you up for a whole lot of other stuff. If you're like me and you're on the downhill slope of your life, you're at the end. That's whatever.
You're only 50.
You're too late. It's too late for you. But if you're in your 20s like Gavin, save a little money, Gavin, and give yourself options when you get to be my old age. Uplifting Way FM. This is the Wally Show. And on Mondays, we usually do this thing, something no one else can say about their weekend. But since it is Tuesday and we had Labor Day off yesterday, we're going to go with something no one else can say about their Labor Day. Something that was specific to you that you don't think anyone else could claim. Like for me, I spent 2 days waiting on somebody for a Facebook Marketplace transaction. And I'm literally not making that up. I'm not being overly dramatic. I had a great deal on a good product, and like everything was awesome.
But let me say this. You seem to have the worst
I do.
luck when it comes to Facebook Marketplace, selling things
Million
on Facebook
percent.
Marketplace. At some point, I have to think the common denominator is you.
It's not. I
You're
swear
the
to you.
problem.
I don't know how it could be. Here's a great item at a great price. Would you like it? Yes. Fine. Great. What time do you want to meet? 2-3 hours goes by. I can meet today at 2 o'clock. Okay, great. Let's do that. Hey, it's almost 2. Are you on your way? It's 2 o'clock. Are you on your way? It's raining. Okay. And then, so I can do between, 6 o'clock. Can you do 6 o'clock? Yeah, that's fine. Not a problem. Oh, no, 7 o'clock. It was 7 o'clock.
That's late.
Yeah, at night. Okay, that's fine. I get a text at 7:30. Daughter's sick, can't come. Can you
What's
do
happening
tomorrow?
to this?
I know. Can you come tomorrow? So now I'm like, okay, I waited like from 2 o'clock on till 7 o'clock.
Listen,
Yes.
if something is toxic for
Yes.
you
I know.
need to just cut it off. And for you, Facebook Marketplace
I know.
is a toxic environment.
I don't
so
get
you just
it.
need to stop.
So then this rolls into Sunday.
No!
I did. It rolled into Sunday.
Okay, now it's your
could you
fault.
please let me still have this? Okay, fine. Can you be like it says I can be there between 5 a.m. and 7 p.m. So it's pretty much all day. So I say, okay, I got church and I have lunch. Let's do 2 o'clock. Okay, great. We're all good. oh, sorry, can't do that. Can you do later? I'm like, oh, for the love.
Just give up.
I did. And well, I thought I did.
See?
But then
You're the problem.
I know, but then was like, can you receive me tomorrow? Like, fine. Okay. So I sold my thing. This time they finally showed up at the exact, well, it was going to be between 4 and 5. That's it. No more. I'm going to move on. Then I got a message. Can you receive me earlier? Fine. I'm 12 minutes away. Okay. Shows up early. But then was the nicest person. That's what I don't understand.
Oh, is that you're operating thinking that this is going to be, this person has annoyed the, like,
yes, ever loving out
you.
of me. Like, I'm like, what in the world? Like, I don't even want to sell it now. Then they show up and they were so nice.
Oh,
and
that makes it worse.
I enjoyed talking to them for a few minutes and I enjoyed selling it to them. And it was like all was forgiven. I was like,
gaslighting.
it was like everything was forgiven in that little bit of time. Like, super nice person. But I'm like, why are you so dysfunctional on Facebook Marketplace, but you're like this really nice human in person? I don't understand.
You just need to cut it off.
I know,
honestly.
but
you went on for almost 5 minutes.
This is why I used to have you sell
and
things
more.
for
Okay.
me. You know?
I know, and I'll happily do it. So,
Will you? Okay.
yes. But I
I'm going to have to. I know, absolutely.
50-50.
Not 50-50.
60-40. I'm 60.
70-30.
I'm 70.
No, it's not how this works. All right, we'll negotiate that. What is your thing that no one else can say about their Labor Day? That was mine. What's yours? 855-33-WAY-FM. That's 855-33-WAY-FM. What'd you do?
I am not a big shopper, but I am into really good bargains. So I called my husband and said, in the 30 years of marriage, have I ever bought 6 pairs of shoes in one day?
If I'm your husband, A, I know this is a trap, and B, I know that you just bought a grip of shoes.
It wasn't a trap, and he busted up laughing, which I was very thankful for. But yeah, so I found like 2 pair online that it was like a steal of a deal.
Of course.
And then walked into a store and it was like, oh, buy one, get the second pair half off.
Duh.
But then when I got home, they didn't fit right. So I got online and found the same shoes for less and then took the 2 shoes back and then happened to find another pair of sandals.
Well,
yeah,
of
it was
course.
a shoe weekend. It was crazy.
You definitely are girl mathing this. You're like, okay, now I took the 2 back. I did return them, but then you bought another pair of shoes with the other
matter.
2. I know.
It doesn't matter.
So the whole total was I only now have 3 new pair of shoes and $20 extra.
Oh, wow. Okay,
So,
that is some super
well
shopping.
done.
Yeah, I know.
Essentially, they
Wait.
paid you.
No,
to
they
take-
did no. They did not pay her.
Yes.
Exactly.
She still
Girl
spent
that.
money. What do you got?
I was in Franklin, Tennessee with our daughter, who is 21, and she was participating in a ballroom dance competition. And it's a country ballroom, so it's they do all their dances that they've learned from traditional ballroom, but they do it to country music wearing cowboy boots.
Oh, nice. Okay, my friends, their daughter grew up ballroom dancing. That was her life, and she's actually a professional dancer now. Who paid for the ballroom competition?
We split it. She pays part, and we pay part. So all told, it's about $500 to $600 to compete. Per event.
Yes, it's very expensive. And if you do multiple events at that one place, you pay for all of that. Ballroom dancing is such a racket. It is so expensive. And you get like a gift certificate when you win and a trophy, and it keeps you coming back.
No. Becky, your daughter needs to find something cheaper.
No, it's her thing because she's very high-functioning autistic, and it is a thing that just brings her such joy, and it's just a great thing for her.
Oh, that's good. Well, I'm sure then that was money well spent for you as a parent for sure.
Absolutely.
Monday School is a chance for Wally to share what he learned at church and prove that he went.
So the Bible talks about walking by faith, but how do I know if I'm living by faith? They say that salvation comes through faith alone. When I say they, I mean the Bible. But the Bible also says faith without works is dead, but works don't save us. So how do these two concepts go together? It's the idea of salvation and sanctification. Salvation is accepting Jesus, and sanctification is living in or walking out that faith in our lives. If you've made a genuine decision and accepted Christ to follow him in your life, it should look different. the works don't save you, but they should be evidence of your commitment to Christ. You know, you should look a little bit different. You know, if someone tells you they love you, or if someone, you know, tells you that they love you, but they don't spend time with you, they don't talk kindly to you, you know, they don't do anything that would show that, you would doubt their love, you know, because they say love is a verb because it needs action to grow. Our faith is a verb as well, at least it should be. You know, how we live our lives speaks volumes about not only what you believe, but also about how committed you are to what you believe. You know, because behavior, I guess, follows belief a lot of times. You know, it works like that way. You know, like you believe in a sports team, you all of a sudden start buying their gear and going to their games. It becomes that thing that is evidence in your life, you know. There's an old analogy that goes, if you were put on trial for being a Christian, would there be enough evidence to convict you? And I'm like, that's pretty convicting right there, because like I do faith for a living, you know, being on the radio here, and if that was the standard I was on trial for, people would say, oh, for sure, he's a believer, look at he talks about God every day, you know. But what about this in my personal life? Am I serving at church? Am I taking care of the least of these? Am I choosing to live at peace with people? Am I loving my enemy? Am I doing all of those things? Because that's the true test of my faith. I do some of those.
Get like a D-?
Work in progress. That's passing. You know, but that is the test of my faith, not what I say on the radio. And we can all apply that same standard of measurement in our lives if we are living it out. If you're someone that hears this, though, because I know a lot of people fear this and wonders, well, am I actually saved? I have great news for you. If you worry about it, it means you probably are, you know, like because you're still sensitive to it, which means you care. So you probably are saved, but what you're missing is the living it out part of what you believe. And I bet if you start doing that, it might change how you feel about your salvation and give you more security. So there you go. If that landed with you, or you want to share that with somebody else, we have a brand new Monday School podcast. Huzzah!
Yeah, just text the word Monday to 91979 and we'll send you that link. That's Monday to 91979.
If you can't find Gavin, he's probably writing his story
Even though I don't really need to do a wee,
in the bathroom.
I'm going to do one anyway.
It's News-ish with Gavin.
Gavin is back, fresh off of paternity leave and ready to go. Dad of a new baby boy, Bennett. We're going to talk about this more tomorrow because we're going to give you a paternity test.
Oh, wow.
Well, no, just a test about what you've learned about being a dad.
Okay.
Oh, I see how that sounded. Yeah, so welcome back.
I can't wait. Thank you. Yeah, I've spent the last month adjusting to being a new dad.
Yeah.
Lots of fun, not lots of sleep, but it's all wonderful and fantastic. But I also know that I am years away from a first day of school.
Oh, yeah.
Would you say that that was a hard day or an easy day?
I did not like it. It was harder on my wife because my wife had to be there and take her and everything. But yeah, that first day of school, not fun. Can't
wait.
Yeah, and then there's great moments about being a parent, but there are really great moments that are also hard.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Well, one dad, he was actually posted this video that he created over his daughter's life of him interviewing her before her first day of school. So it spans her first day of school to now her last first day of school.
Oh, that's
she
cool.
is going into her senior year of high school. So we, cut up a little clip of it. Here's a little flavor of her over the years.
What do you want to be when you grow up?
A doctor. Maybe a teacher, a doctor, or a magician.
Physical therapist or nurse.
I just want you to know that we love you.
You're gonna cry.
No.
Love you too.
Oh.
Is the school bus here now?
Is the school bus here, Dad?
Oh, I love you too. Oh my gosh. But then you get senior her. Are you gonna cry? Are you gonna cry, Dad?
Yeah.
My daughter did that to me all the time. Are you crying? We're like watching TV. I'm like, how are you not? Who raised you, you soulless psycho?
Wow.
Yeah.
But I also love that you saw the glimpse of what it means to be a kid where she's like, I want to be a magician
I know.
when I grow up. And then fast forward to, physical therapist, that's actually really practical, helpful, probably pays well.
Yeah.
But
some kids never grow out of that magician face or that musical theater face.
Oh, golly.
Speaking from experience.
Yeah. Oh, that's brutal.
I have to teach my son because I went and got a film degree.
Yeah.
I've got to take that off the table.
Oh,
for
yeah.
him.
Yeah. You're going to have to teach him like to go to school to get an actual career, or major in something that could actually pay some bills. Yeah.
Oh, bless.
But, so you are not sleeping much. You said that Bennett slept like through the night, though.
Oh, he gave us a little flavor a few days ago where he slept for 8 hours. It was tough, though, because I woke up probably 5 hours into it thinking,
what's wrong?
Should I wake him up? Should I feed him? Go over and I pressed his little cheek.
Of course you do.
Oh, man.
Yeah, you
Even
panic.
when he sleeps, you
the
panic.
first time when they sleep through the night, you're like, oh, and then you like feel so good. You're like, do that every night.
I'm sure he'll turn around and wake up every 2 hours.
He will. I'm telling you, man. I think they do that just to jack with you. Somehow they know. They're like, this will be funny.
It's an infant child.
I know, but I'm telling you, they talk to each other somehow. Like they know. I don't know how they know, but trust me, they know.
And
You'll
this
find
is
out,
why
Rock.
moms are in charge, not dads.
Maybe so. I did not realize that you have 2 wedding seasons in your life. I knew the one like in your 20s when your friends start getting married, you got to go to a million weddings or you're in a million weddings. Betty Rock knows that all too well.
Oh, tell me about
all
it.
the weddings you've been in. And
I
then,
haven't even had my own and I'm in debt.
and then it's like you get to be my age, and so I'm in my 50s, but now all of my friends or relatives' kids are getting married, and I'm on the hook to go to all the weddings, And it's like,
welcome to it.
For the love. Well, I came across this one girl. I wish she was in my family. She did a summer camp themed wedding. I love this.
How would that work? What does that look like?
Well, they dressed up as camp counselors and their friends. They played Capture the Flag. They had a s'mores buffet. They reimagined what a destination wedding could look like because I guess it was a big part of her and her husband's life growing up. They did summer camps and were counselors.
That's cute.
So it was personal to them.
Yes.
They had people coming in from all over, and a lot of times at a wedding, you sit there for a minute. You don't really meet anybody, so they played games and did like camp stuff, so they would actually get to know each other, and it was super laid back.
That sounds like an introvert's worst nightmare.
Yes, you're right, actually.
Sure.
Yeah. But for me, I'm like, this is great. I would have loved every second of that.
That's awesome.
Yeah. And how great would it have been, too, where it was a destination wedding if the accommodations instead of a hotel had been cabins?
Oh. So cute.
And bunk beds.
Yes.
I mean, so there you go. But I am curious, though. Like, I think we can all agree that's pretty unique. What is a unique themed wedding that you have seen? Like maybe you've gone to it or you've seen someone do one, on the news or Pinterest or whatever. I'm real curious because like I have a daughter that will probably be getting married here in the next 2 to 5 years. Betty Rock, 2 to 5 years. We got to think of some...
From your lips to God's ears. Because honestly, I think I'm played out. I don't know.
2 to 5 decades.
Maybe, honestly.
And so, like, what are some, like, unique themes? Because I don't like the black tie weddings and the hoity-toity stuff. I really don't. And, like, so this would have been great for me. I would have loved
Summer
this.
camp, yeah.
Absolutely. So what have you seen? 855-33-WAY-FM. You might give somebody an idea, too. 855-33-WAY-FM. We'll take yours now. So, Christy, have you seen or maybe even had like a unique themed wedding?
We went to a county fair wedding.
Love it. Was everything fried?
Yeah, and was there a petting zoo?
There was pony rides.
Nice.
That's so awesome.
You throw in a bride in a dunk tank and you got something there. Yes, that would be amazing.
Were there clowns?
No clowns, no clowns.
You know what they should have done since it's a fair theme? Instead of like, basically giving them a gift or whatever, play carnival games, but you have to pay to play the games and you never win. And so they would have made their whole money for their like honeymoon in the carnival games.
Yeah, that's true.
That would have worked.
Wendy, she said, my wedding was semi-themed with Up, the Disney movie
that's
Up.
Awesome.
It was my and my husband's first date.
Love it.
The card box was a mailbox with our handprints and names. Our guest book was a poster with the house and all the balloons, and people signed a balloon. And my husband's boutonniere had a grape soda bottle cap on it.
That's so great.
That's adorable.
Like one of my wife and my favorite movies is Up now because we like Carl and Ellie, and so we have Up things in our house now, and I really love that. But if I was to do my first date movie and theme our wedding like these people did, it would have to be Lethal Weapon.
No.
Yes, we went to see Lethal Weapon was our first date with Mel Gibson and Danny Glover.
That's awesome.
How great would that theme be, huh?
Horrible.
No, it'd be fantastic.
For every guy that goes to that, like, guys don't often want to go to weddings.
Yeah.
Guys want to go to that one.
Oh, that would be a good one for sure.
Yeah, but you're probably Marty, your wife, wouldn't want to show up.
No.
And then Jana, she said, our friends had everyone wear a hat to their wedding.
Oh.
So there were people with all kinds of hats. So you would have a sombrero or a teeny tiny hat. It was all out fun.
I love that because then people get to have fun with it. And yeah, you'll have the person that gets that big foam 10-gallon hat, you know, and then somebody that will do a tiny hat or a ball. Like, I think that takes something and makes it really, really unique and makes it fun. Like, it takes all the seriousness out of it, and then people are enjoying it. Hey, and that gives them something to talk about at a wedding. Nice hat. Where'd you get that? You know? Because all the small talk you have to make with all the people that you see and that
also,
you don't know.
if you're a little bit like nervous about people seeing your bald spot,
Yes.
it's an easy way to cover that up
Yes.
and not have anybody talk about it.
I wish every day that I was Jewish, because then I could just rock a yarmulke and no one would think twice about it.
Growing up in poverty has never been easy for children, but with the added challenges of the pandemic, conflict, and natural disasters, families around the world are facing an unprecedented food crisis. Unfortunately, those who are already hungry are now even more desperate. But by sponsoring a child through compassion, you can help provide life-sustaining essentials such as food and clean water. And with your compassionate support, that child can not only survive, but also flourish. You can find out how and choose a child to sponsor when you click on the compassion banner at wayfm.com.
Uplifting Way FM. This is The Rock Report with Betty Rock.
Singer-songwriter Adele is an amazing talent with an amazing voice. But after over a decade-long music career with multiple award-winning albums under her belt, the 36-year-old is taking what she calls a, quote, incredibly long break. So I think that this is a pretty neat idea for her because you just don't hear of people who go out on top, and she's choosing to do that. She said, she told the crowd that I've spent the last 7 years building a new life for myself and I want to live it now. And I think that is respectful because you think about like all these people, like take for instance, all the bands that you love, like all those 80s hair metal guys that they're still out there in their 80s just going. You're like, no, Adele has class.
Because they care about people. They care about their fans.
Adele has class. She's like, I've given you 4 albums and they've been Grammy award winning, and I'm going to leave while I'm good.
Thanks, Adele. We appreciate that. But I'd like 5.
That's a legend.
No.
And it's healthy, too. You think about this, like you have people that are just clinging to what they used to be and they just can't let it go. But then they keep, for instance, John Bon Jovi.
No,
he's
so bad.
He put out a new album and there was one of them that he wrote about his wife, but she was a guitar. We don't really know. But
I love my first guitar or something like that.
It was really bad. And John Bon Jovi should take a note from Adele. Go out while he's good.
Here's the thing about this too. Like I get, if you don't get to superstardom without being super driven. And so that drive forces you to create or whatever it is that you do to get to that point. But then at some point you would think you would transition to, okay, I've made it. I've enjoyed all of this. Now I've accumulated this. Now I can just go and stop and I can live the rest of my life. But they're not wired that way typically. Like it's that drug that keeps you going and that fame and the need for that keeps you continuing to work. I mean, honestly, like as I get older, I would love the opportunity to get to where I had accomplished what I wanted to accomplish and then just enjoy the fruits of that labor kind of thing. But I don't know that I'm wired that way either. You know, I'll probably die on a microphone when I'm 80, you know.
But I commend Adele. I think that this is awesome because she does have a kid and, you know, she probably wants to spend more time with that child. And you can't do that when you're out on the road. And so I commend her for doing this because it just goes that she is secure enough in herself that she doesn't need other people praising her. She's good. She's happy with what she's created and she's ready to move on.
Well, that success is truly truly a gift. Because not most people, 99.9% of people don't have the ability to say, I'm just going to stop working now and enjoy my life. And so hopefully she realizes what a gift that truly is. Yes, she worked for it, but it's still a gift that she, has. And so I would trade places with her.
Oh, I know you would.
Yeah. All right, that's going to do it for your Rock Report. Thank you, Lady Rock.
Anything you can do, I can do better. I can do anything better than you.
Uplifting at Way FM. This is the Wally Show. We're going to find out if boys are smarter than girls right now. And it's going to take two of us to beat the brain of Betty Rock.
Oh, thank you.
Yeah. And so the way it works
I have
is...
a tough brain.
You do have a tough
I'm smart
brain.
in the head.
Hard to understand.
If we lose this one today, Gavin, something's wrong. All right, so the way it works is we'll ask 3 questions. Betty Rock gets to choose which guy she wants to take on based on the question to give her, an advantage because she's going 2 versus 1. And now you be listening because if your gender wins, meaning if Betty Rock wins, only girls can call to win a prize. If Gavin or myself win, only guys can call to win a prize. And you'll get a question based on our conversation. So pay very close attention to even the smallest minute detail. So with that, Betty Rock, question number 1. According to Google, pick Gavin. I just flipped it over and saw the answer by accident.
What are you doing?
I dropped it and I saw the answer. I'm honest. I'm honest.
Flip it one more time?
Yeah, you want to see it?
Yeah.
No. According to Google, how many searches does Google receive every second?
Oh.
Every second. How many searches?
Whoa.
I know. All right, so get your answers down. I can't believe I'm out on this because I guessed it exactly.
No, you didn't.
No.
Okay, I've got my guess.
All right, Gavin.
All right, every second.
Around the world.
I know, yeah. A lot of people in this world.
Yeah.
I'm going to say 50 million.
50 million. Okay, that's a lot.
I know you went lower than
Betty Lou?
I went lower than that
Did you
by
go
a
in
lot.
did you go in
100,000.
Okay.
Wow.
But that's good because if Gavin went over, then I win.
Lower.
Right,
I should've
exactly.
gone way lower.
One of you is right on not track at all. 63,000. Betty Lou.
Wait, is that me?
Yes, that's you. If I have to tell you it's you, you should not get the point. All right, boys,
that was silly.
Sticks to be you. All right, Betty Rock up 1-0. All right, here we go. The most valuable football team in 2019 was the Dallas Cowboys. How much were they worth?
In what year?
2019. How much were they worth?
I'm going to give this to Wally because Wally is not the sporty type.
Gavin probably knows this one too, down to almost the penny.
Are worth.
All right, the Cowboys, the team. I know how much the stadium cost. All right, I have my answer.
I don't know. Okay, go.
I think I'm low. Well, no, you go first. I've written mine down.
4.5 million.
Oh, thank the Lord! As long as I didn't go over, I said 100 million, and I'm starting to be sad about that.
No, I think
4.5 million. That's not even.
know.
That's not even one player's salary.
I haven't heard about the Cowboys in a while.
Oh my goodness! It's like $5 billion.
Holy moly! So I was a little off.
Yeah, I was gonna say 1 billion, and I thought that was crazy, so I shot lower. Okay, 1-1.
Okay.
Here we go. Final question. According to the 1985 medical journal, what is the largest meal someone has ever eaten in pounds?
Oh, pounds.
In pounds,
I was
the
gonna say
most.
calories.
Yeah, no, in pounds.
Let's do Gavin because you've been doing Weight Watchers, Wally,
Yeah.
and I fear that you might have done a little bit of research when you were hungry.
But Gavin's been doing pounds.
Hey,
All right, say the question one more time.
All right, 1985 medical journal, the largest meal someone's ever eaten in pounds.
So we're naming a food, a
and
meal.
this is from a while ago, too.
Yeah, how many pounds of a meal did someone eat?
How many pounds of a meal?
Right.
Golly.
Like steak or whatever. It doesn't say what the meal is, but
Okay,
just
I
how
got
many
mine.
pounds.
Okay.
I'm gonna go with 15.
Ooh. Okay. I went with 18.
What is it?
I think it's going to be like 16 or 17.
If it's right on the money, I get 2 points.
You did not get it right on the money. But you were under. Gavin was over. It was 16. No! Girls win. Betty Lou again. She's on fire.
Yeah.
Nicely done. Oh, all right. So that means only girls can call to win a prize. 855-33-WAY-FM. You have to be a girl to call to win right now. 855-33-WAY-FM.
Anything you can do, I can do better. I can do anything better than you.
Petula, welcome to Boys vs. Girls here on The Wally Show on Uplifting Way FM. I have to admit that a part of me is sad talking to you, but I'm sure you're wonderfully sweet. But that means the guys lost Boys vs. Girls, so only girls can call to win today. So with that said, Petula, I'm going to ask you a question. Did you listen very carefully?
I did.
Okay. Well, we're going to find out because I have a tough question for you, okay?
No, it can't be too tough.
Why? Are women not capable of getting tough answers?
Don't turn this around on me. You're totally gaslighting me.
What?
If guys won, you would have been like, what's your name? And they could have said anything. You would have like, you're the winner.
Don't you think that women pay more closer attention and they listen better? They're better listeners? Don't you think that, Rock? I think you've said that. So we just want to test that.
Yeah. No, this isn't part of the test. It's just a quiz.
So here's the deal, Petula. We were talking about the largest meal ever eaten, and Betty won it by saying 15 pounds. It was actually 16 pounds. And I threw out an example. They were like, well, what kind of food? And I said, well, maybe like this. And I mentioned a food. What food did I mention?
I don't remember the food that you mentioned. I was concentrating on the poundage.
Oh, see, that's what I was talking about. Like, it's like you got to pay attention. And I thought women were great listeners. Now I don't feel heard or seen. I'm hurt now.
Oh, my goodness. I don't know.
Betty, do you even remember?
I think it was steak.
It was steak. Nicely done.
So can I win it for her?
What's that?
Since I am the ultimate winner, obviously, I've won twice.
Yeah.
I'm going to give my gift to Petula.
Oh, that is so nice of you.
Yeah, I don't know.
I wish it worked that way.
It does. I'm making the rules, sir. I win, so I make the rules.
All right. You know what, Petula? You are a delight. We're going to let that rule stand. Betty Rock has won twice today and is helping you out.
Thank you, Betty.
You are so welcome.
Uplifting Way FM, this is The Wally Show. Gavin wasn't here when Betty Rock had found this clip of audio, which I thought was really good. It was the national anthem, but done in a minor key.
Oh, just enough to be, you recognize it, but you know it's wrong?
Yeah, like here's a little bit of it.
Oh.
I was like, it sounds like...
Sounds like a Marvel movie.
Yeah, or like Star Wars or something. Yeah. And I made the mistake at the end of trying to sing along with it.
Oh,
yeah, so it went like this.
Hey, does that star-spangled banner yet wave?
Wait, why are there two of you now?
I don't know.
Did you produce this?
I did.
This is great. Trust me, Gavin, the first round was not great. That was touch and go, but the first one was not great.
It was so bad. The first one was so bad I had to redo it and throw some auto-tune on it.
You didn't have to redo it. You didn't even have to do auto-tune. You could have just left it as is.
It was really, really bad. It was bad. But I did find a guy who actually did it and did it really well. See what you think about this guy. Oh, no, that's me. That was the wrong one.
No, play that. That was the first try.
No.
That was the first try. Play it.
So
It's bad. Okay, here he goes.
I was just doing it off the cuff. Okay.
Uh-oh.
Yeah.
Nope.
See, it got bad. But I did find a guy who did it well.
Oh, say,
this is great.
can you see by the dawn's early light? Oh, say, does that star-spangled banner yet wave o'er the land of the free and the home of the brave?
You know how everyone does the...
Well done.
I know, it was really good. But you know how people do these things at different sporting events, and they either are great at the national anthem or it's a train wreck. It would be interesting to see somebody come out and do it in a minor key. And would people be like, that was awesome because it was different?
Yeah.
Or would they be like, you've destroyed the national anthem?
Or would they cry?
I don't know. It's
Because
very
to me, it sounds haunting
Yeah.
and scary.
Yeah.
And more like you went to war.
It's like melodramatic. Like every like Gen Z would be sobbing and be like, "This gets me."
That's in my feels.
Exactly.
I get in my feels.
Yeah, but like all the Gen Xers would be like, "This is the worst thing ever." But I don't know. So anyway.
No, I can play for you what was the worst thing. Well, that's the end, but it doesn't have to be. Check out our Aftercast. It's new stuff you didn't hear in the podcast. Be sure to rate us on iTunes as well as connect with us on social media. Just search Wally Show. And if you'd like to join our Facebook group made exclusively for you potties, the link is in the description of this podcast. Thanks to Colorado Christian University Online for supporting what we do.